Tibetan medicine actually it's really very old medical system. According to this medicine exists more than 2,500 years. And first of all, the system of the medicine existed only in Tibet, as this country was really locked, and it was not allowed for any for foreign people to enter there, and therefore they kept everything in secret. But medicine developed under big influence of Buddhism, and therefore in the text on Tibetan medicine you can really find big influence of the Tibetan Mahayana Buddhism, and some chapters of the most fundamental text on Tibetan medicine, which called Gyushi, was created under big influence of Buddhism, and of course under great influence of the most developed different medical system of different countries. Yes, Tibetan medicine practice the Tibetan traditional doctors, which called in Tibetan medicine Imchi, and they really get very special education, and some of them spent really between 10 or 15 years to study all the aspects of Tibetan medicine to become the highly educated and highly qualified Tibetan traditional doctors. It is actually really very similar, and in the practical Tibetan medicine, 5 elements played very important role to make the diagnostic and also to prescribe different medicine and treatments, and they really played very important role for the practitioner Tibetan traditional doctors. Tibetan practitioner doctors had really unique knowledge about not only plants and herbs, and also they have a very, very, really high knowledge about the animals and animal production, and also about the minerals. If you really can see the recipe on Tibetan medicine, you can understand that the most important ingredients for the composition of formula of Tibetan medicine consist of the different type of the herbs, plants, and minerals, and the raw materials of the animal production. It's very interesting. Nowadays, Tibetan medicine is very popular. It is very popular not only in Tibet itself, and also it's very popular in India and all over China, and also Tibetan medicine widespread throughout the world. You can find really Tibetan practitioners in any countries and even in developed countries, and for me it was really very interesting to know that in Austria Tibetan traditional doctors also practice, and quite many patients used to go to get the first aid from Tibetan traditional doctors. It is really traditional Tibetan medicine, and I actually should underline that I like very much really production of PADMA. They are very, very high quality, and they really did very, very long process of big research work in different fields to prove the effectiveness of Tibetan medicine. But I have to tell you very openly the recipe of Tibetan medicine, which produced by famous firm PADMA, based on the recipe of the Buryat traditional Tibetan doctors who had origin from very famous Buryat clan, Doctors Badmaev, and some members of this really very, very outstanding clan were the private physician of our former Tsar family. And they really were very successful to heal very serious pathologies of the member of our really very, very aristocratic people in St. Petersburg, in former capital of Russian Empire. Yes, it's really true, and I also have a photo and some postcard which were produced in the connection of his visit PADMA, and those photos were translated by the head of the film PADMA, Dr. Schwabel, and I was really very proud that this film really developed very, very much, as I know them last 22 years, and I really did some work with the members of this film, and I really very happy that they develop very much in such really developed country like Switzerland, and now they registered the medicines in many countries throughout Europe and in the States. The main meaning of the medicine was more protect the people, as Tibetans live in very, really hard conditions, as you know, and also in very, very wild climate. And also Tibetan medicine at previous time played a really certain role like protective medicine. But nowadays Tibetan medicine really changed a little bit the main meaning, and they really cure very, very dangerous diseases which really quite spread in global world, in global society. And some doctors are very successful, and therefore now I can really see that many patients in different countries used to be cured by the methods and remedies of Tibetan medicine. I actually really have very big hope that the role of Tibetan medicine in such developed country like Western countries will be really very, very important, and I don't have any doubts that Tibetan medicines really will do very, very big contribution to help to modern Western medicine to heal very serious pathologies which are widespread throughout the world.